KWT slaying.
Salama family, salama, how y'all doing today? Hope you're blessed and highly favored. Hope you're blessed and highly favored. So we're going to talk today about deception. We're going to talk about wolves in sheep's clothing. We're going to talk about how we obey the Most High. Because here's the thing. Until we start obeying those scriptures and living by the law, not for salvation, but obedience. The thing that us and our ancestors signed in blood, that contract, some people call it a covenant. We're going to keep being used and abused. Now, some of y'all are not going to like this teaching at all. And the reason you're not going to like this teaching is because some of y'all are compromised and you don't realize it. Why? Because you grew up in Babylon, you learned Babylon's ways, you follow Eurocentric Christianity, and some of that is still in your head. And so some of y'all are going to say, well, here he go with the skin doctrine. Look, we're going to talk about that because we've been played so well. The more I wake up, the more I'm flabbergasted. The more I wake up, the more I realize, boy, they did a number on us. And the only way out is Yeshua. The only way out is his word, following that little light, following the light of the word of Yah. We've been played. But here's the thing. We went into captivity. We didn't know who we were. They knew who we were, but we didn't know who we were. They stole our heritage, stole our identity, stole our scriptures, everything. So it's understood why we don't know anything. And it's understood why they manipulate us like a puppet on a string. Or as someone just said, like a fiddle. We've all been played. I've been played. You've been played. Some of y'all still being played. And, you either receive this or not. Seek the Most High on it, right? I'm going to say it. Some of y'all don't like it. Eat the meat, spit out the bones. Bottom line is, if you start looking at this stuff, you start doing the research, you come to find out, boy, they did a number on us. What makes it even harder is the raccoons. So they'll put somebody who look like you, sound like you, to promote their agenda. Contrary, mind you, to the word. Oh, well, the Most High didn't mean that. Just like what Satan told Eve, had God say you shouldn't eat of from all of the trees of the garden. That's how they do, right? Did God really say that? Did he really say that you need to keep the laws? Did he really say that you need to do that? Did he really say you're his chosen? Did he? You know what I'm saying? Same old game. But what we didn't know is that, well, let's get into it because, like I said, some of y'all ain't gonna like it because some of y'all compromised, and only the Most High can wake you up. And mind you, I'm not your judge. I'm not your judge. Seek the Most High on it. I'm not telling you to do nothing. Don't say I told you to do anything. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm telling you to seek the Most High. But I'm telling you this. There's a reason why Negroes don't get along, why Negroes don't work together, why Negroes don't shop from Negro businesses. And, there's a reason for all of that. Matthew 7:15, beware of false prophets which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. There are some people who are wolves in sheep's clothing. And some of the wolves may be obvious to some of us, but then for others, it's not. Some of y'all, I'm going to say it again, I said it before, some of y'all lack spiritual discernment. Some of y'all don't even know what spiritual discernment is. I'm serious. Just like some of them urban apologists over there, they don't have no spiritual discernment whatsoever, obviously. Obviously. But the system is run by Satan. The system that we're all living in, that many of us trust, is controlled by Satan. Here's the problem. A lot of us were confused, right? Especially, when you don't know who you are, you caught in the matrix, you don't understand. People tell you, hey, I love you. I love you. You my boy, you my girl. I love you. It's all good. That's enough for y'all. I'm going to tell you. Some people could tell me they love me all day. I ain't going to believe it. But there's people who are wolves in sheep clothing. Now, here's the problem. They did a number on us. I got to keep saying it. When you look at this scripture and you think about it, right, and you think about false prophets, you think in terms of a minister. You think in terms of a priest. You think in terms of a religious figure. And even though that may be valid, it's not always the case. Some of the false prophets are CEOs. Some of the false prophets are doctors. Some of the false prophets are humanitarians. Some of the false prophets are leaders of humanitarian efforts. Second Corinthians 11:14-15, and no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers of righteousness, whose end shall be according to their works. Like I said, in church, everything is centered around the church. So when you read ministers, you think, oh, it's a minister in the church, or oh, it's it's a pastor, or something like that. No. It's not always the case, even though that can be the case. So minister is the word diakonos. And diakonos means minister, servant, deacon, right? That's what we usually think, minister, servant, deacon. But as we go on, it says, one who executes the commands of another, of a master, a servant, attendant, minister. So it could be a president of a country. It could be a secretary of state. It could be a general. It could be a governor. It could be a mayor. It could be a principal of a school. The servant of a king. Can we say the servant of a president or some organization? A deacon, one who by virtue of the office assigned to him by the church cares for the poor. So that's the one we usually know, right? A waiter, one who serves food. So basically, let's sum it down to this. A minister could be anybody working for anybody. A minister can be anyone who's working for anyone. A servant. So you got false prophets who not necessarily in ministry. You got ministers who aren't in what we call ministry. It's the English language again, confusing people, got you messed up, got you looking only in the church when you really need to be looking at your governors, your president, your generals, your chiefs of police, your principals, the heads of corporations. These are the ones you should be looking at. Why? Because Satan himself transformed into an angel of light. Therefore, it is no great thing that his ministers, his presidents, his governors, his mayors, his principals, all the levels of society, the CEOs, be transformed as ministers of righteousness. There's people who you follow, y'all vote for, y'all put them in office because you trust them. Surely Johnny wouldn't deceive me. Surely Governor Smith wouldn't deceive me. Surely my president wouldn't deceive me. Surely the CIA wouldn't deceive me. Surely the FBI wouldn't deceive me. Surely the chief of police wouldn't deceive me. When they were put here to deceive you. Oh, you don't believe me? I know. I told you some of y'all ain't gonna like it. Surely Mary Lou wouldn't deceive me. Surely Shanakwa wouldn't deceive me. They're at all levels. The Mossad, by way of deception, thou shalt do war. By way of deception, thou shalt do war. Now, let me ask y'all a question, family. How many of you all believe that we are in a warfare? I'm talking about the Negroes. Give me a 1. If you don't think we're in a warfare, give me a 2. I don't see a 2 in there at all. Shocking. So most of y'all know that we are in a warfare, and we have been at war for almost 2,000 years. Now that you know who we are. Oh, yeah. So since you know that we're in a warfare, do you believe what they tell you? You turn on the television, you go on CNN, you go on ABC, you go on to some website that's run by them, and you believe it, but the Messiah says, by way of deception, thou shalt do war. They lied about who you are. They knew who you were. Everybody know who we are now. Don't get it twisted. The Gentiles know who we are now. They just can't accept it. That's why they got to lie to themselves and say the people in the Middle East are the people. Why? Because by way of deception, thou shalt do war. They don't want you in a position of rulership. And the only way you're not going to rule is if you keep disobeying the Most High. That's why you got these people who look like you, known as raccoons, who deceive you, lie to you, make you think that what Master said is correct. See, you ain't gonna get this at any old ministry. Why? Because the checks got to keep coming in, and they got to go on their speaking engagements and their tours, and they ain't gonna never give you the truth. Why? Because then the money stops flowing. I don't have that problem. Even though, I can't even get like 1,000 likes when 1,200 people in the room, but I'm just saying, I ain't got that problem. Because my goal is to serve the Most High. My goal is to serve his people. My goal is to make sure that we all make it out of here serving the Most High and doing his will so we can get out from under this captivity. I's ready to go. How about you? Is you ready to go? I's ready to leave. But the more we sin, the longer we stay. You know how your parents would tell you, so long as you keep crying, you're going to stay in that room. Keep making that noise. You're going to stay in there another hour. Keep being disobedient. You ain't never going to see daylight. Y'all know mom and daddy. Y'all know y'all used to hear that. Some of y'all know y'all were bad. They called me bad. I was just sort of busy. But if we keep doing the same thing, we're going to get the same result. But some of y'all ain't going to like what I got to say today because it's going to hurt you. Why? Because y'all done made some decisions, and it's not my business. But I got to tell the truth so that you don't keep getting played, so that you don't keep getting manipulated, so that they don't keep you sinning against the Most High, so that you will never come out of captivity. See, that's why in Eurocentric Christianity, there is no law. Why? Because now you don't have no direction. You don't have no light. You don't know which way is up, which way is down, what's right, what's left. So now you sinning, thinking you're doing good. But guess what? You disobeying and breaking all the laws. I'm just saying. How come I can't build a business? How come I can't find a good wife? How come I can't find a good husband? Why all these things keep happening to me? Because you keep breaking the laws. That's why you break the laws. You reap you're gonna reap. But they didn't, by way of deception, been warring against you because some of y'all too trusting. Look, here's the thing. We are sheep. We all are sheep. Yes, we all are sheep. Like we all like sheep have gone astray. We all like sheep have gone astray. We don't know no better. But the Most High said what he meant and means what he says. And guess what? If you break his laws, statutes, and commandments, you're going to get judged. But see, we believe our enemies. You believe your leadership. But your leadership was supposed to be one like you. Your leader's supposed to be an Israelite. Your leader's supposed to be a Negro from the tribe of Judah. Your Negro is supposed to be one from your 12 tribe, but y'all be following them folk. I know y'all, some of y'all don't like it because that's just the way it is. You're brainwashed, you're caught in the Babylonian system. And guess what? You're building their kingdom. Why? Because you don't care about us. You don't care about the tribes. Oh, I know. When the last time you heard something like this? You ain't gonna hear it either. Because I'm saying you got to care about the tribes. Sirach 12, 10, 11. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust had not been altogether wiped away. Oh, you know what? I sure loves me some Israelites. I know I's a Gentile, but I love you people. I loves Israel. Never. What does never mean? Sometimes when they speak good words to you, when they say, hey, girl, you look good. When they say, hey, boy, you know you look good. What does never mean? Never trust thine enemy. It's hard being Yakoba. You know why? Because I got to tell the truth. Does the word say it or not? Did I make it up or what? Does it say it or not? Well, that don't matter no more, because we're under the new covenant. You don't even know what the new covenant is. Never, ever, forever, ever trust thine enemy. This is why we keep repeating the same old thing. We elect a new governor, a new mayor, a new president, and guess what? Ain't nothing changed. Well, our family, we all died to get the right to vote, So if you don't vote, you hurting the black community, and you're hurting all the things that our ancestors fought for. If you don't vote, but the Bible says I should only put somebody who is of the 12 tribes to rule over me. I can't vote for you. You ain't Israel. You my enemy. You're the descendant of those who enslaved me and my people. Never, forever, ever, forever, ever, ever, ever trust your enemy. Y'all think the Most High mean what he says or not? Oh, well, you're teaching skin doctrine, Yakoba. We're under the new covenant. It don't matter no more. No more Jew, no more Greek, no more slave, no more free. We got to talk about this a little bit. Because when you trust your enemy, certain things happen to you. Oh, yeah. And it's not necessarily good either. Britain wages biological warfare with smallpox. The British give smallpox contaminated blankets to Shawnee and Lenape, Delaware communities. An action sanctioned by the British officer Sir Geoffrey Amherst and his replacement, General Thomas Gage. Out of our regard to them, we gave them 2 blankets and a handkerchief out of the smallpox hospital. I hope it will have the desired effect. An eyewitness quoted in Elizabeth Finn Pox Americana, the great smallpox epidemic. Never, forever, ever trust your enemy. Oh, I just want to make peace. Let's sign a treaty so we all get along. And you know what? Here's some blankets. Never trust your enemy. Should I trust her if she says she loves me? Never trust your enemy. Shall I trust him because he said he loves me? Never trust your enemy. But I want to marry her. Never trust your enemy. You might get some blankets. Keep playing stupid if you want. You might get some blankets. Keep disobeying the word. Keep acting like God didn't say what he meant and meant what he said. Y'all act like it don't matter no more. Never trust your enemy. Broken treaties with Native American tribe. Now, y'all know I don't believe them Native American Indians know Israel, but I'm trying to show you, never trust your enemy. Because some of y'all are going to try to say, oh, Teo must have woke up. Teo must be teaching that the Native American Indians Israel. No, I don't believe that. Not for a second. Between the Revolutionary War and the aftermath of the Civil War, over the course of almost a century, the United States and Native American nations signed some 368 treaties that would define their relationship for centuries to come. The treaties keyed off the fundamental idea that each tribal group was an independent nation with their own right to self-determination and self-rule. But as white settlers began moving on to Native American lands, this idea came into conflict with the relentless pace of westward expansion, resulting in many broken promises on the part of the United States government. Never trust your enemy. They'll sign a treaty with you so that they can reposition their troops and their weapons and their technology. And they might wait 20, 30, 40 years so the technology can rise up to another level so they won't be caught the next time trying to do biological warfare. So next time you're going to eat a lollipop, never trust your enemy. See, this is why we keep getting the same results, because we keep doing the same thing. But we're all human beings. We all supposed to love one another. I can love you from afar. You know what love mean? Love mean I'm going to do good to you. I'm going to treat you right. That's what Negroes have always done. We're the nicest people in the world. That's why you was able to come into Africa and take us, because we were too trusting. Hey, little African man, how you doing? My name is Billy Bob Smith. Want some moonshine? Some rum? Here, take some of this rum, little African man. Oh, you know what? This rum is real good. Come sit down. Come sit in our here. Go to sleep in the hut right here. Come spend some time with my family. You know, because we sit at the gates and we allow elders in. We allow people. Come sit down. So what's your name? My name is Billy Bob Joe Smith. I'm from Britain. My name is Emmanuel. I'm from Portugal. Come down. Come sit down. Here's some fufu. Eat some fufu. Now, y'all go to sleep. We'll wake up and we'll discuss this some more. And when you wake up, you got chains on your ankle, chains on your wrist, chains around your neck. What are you doing, Mr. Billy Bob? What you talking about, boy? Don't call me Mr. Billy Bob. Say master. But I let you into my house. I fed you. I gave you some fufu. You were so nice. You shared rum with me. You told us about your God. We let you win. How do you enslave us like this? Because you were stupid. Didn't your Bible tell you never trust your enemy? Y'all keep doing the same thing. Africa doing the same thing today. We doing the same thing here. Africa marrying them folks. Africa bringing them into the tribes. Don't make no sense. Well, Yacoba's a racist. No. I understand why the Most High had prohibitions on certain things. I understand why he told us to never trust your enemy. I understand now. I've been watching. I woke up. I was sleeping for 50 years. You know what I'm saying? I've been dozing off real hard. And I woke up one day and I saw these people and I saw they were putting chains on my people. I saw them putting chains on their arms and on their legs and on their necks. And I'm watching my people go along because them people say they love them. Them people say they coming to tell them about Christ, but they shooting them in the streets. I'm watching these people tell them that they love them, but they're getting stabbed. I'm watching my people say, hey, what's going on here? How come we in chains? They keep telling us they love us. They keep telling us about God, but how come we always at the bottom? Because that's where they want you to be. See, that's what I realized. That's where they want you to be. I don't care if you marry them. I don't care if you work with them. I don't care if you go to church with them. They want you on the bottom. How come they don't never pass no laws to protect a Negro, but they'll pass laws to protect the Asians? They'll pass laws to protect everybody else, but they ain't gonna pass no law for you because they want you on the bottom. I don't care if they call themselves Christians or not. Obviously, somebody got to tell the truth. I watch what you do, not what you say. Well, we love you, Yacoba. No, you don't. Yacoba, we only care about you. We just want y'all to do, we want the best for you. No, you don't, because the policies you pass, the laws you pass, now you talk about CRT, critical race theory. You don't even want our history taught, the history that y'all created because y'all brought us here and y'all put us in chains. But guess what? Y'all love us. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. Something wrong with me because I watch what you do and I don't trust you because I see what you do. Make it make sense. I'm the racist because I say, look, y'all keep stabbing us. Y'all keep shooting us. Y'all keep passing laws. And guess what? My people go along just like the little sheep we are, because we sheep. I'm a sheep too. We all go along and we get what? Sheared. Why? Because you're a wolf and y'all look at us as sheep to what? Be sheared. But Yacoba, if it wasn't for us, y'all wouldn't even know about the Bible. Y'all wouldn't know about Christ. Y'all would be on your way to hell. Y'all would be worshiping idols. Y'all would be doing voodoo and worshiping snakes. If it wasn't for us, Yacoba, y'all never would have heard the gospel. when so-called Christianity started on the African continent. We had the word of Yah before y'all. No, y'all wouldn't have the gospel if it wasn't for us. Oh, Yacoba, you're going to be in trouble now. You're causing division. Pew Research Center, a brief overview of Black religious history in the U.S. 2/3 of Black Americans are Protestant, like about 4 in 10 Americans overall. The relationship between Black Americans and Protestantism is unusual due to the history of slavery and segregation, which spawned the creation of several Black-led denominations that followed Black Americans to worship freely. Mostly founded prior to 1900, these historically Black Protestant denominations also supported colleges and helped Black communities in other ways. Isn't that great? Isn't that wonderful? They help Black communities in other ways. We were able to go to colleges because of the Christians and the Protestants. They're so loving. Never trust your enemy. At the same time, Protestantism alone does not define the Black religious experience in the United States. Before enslaved people in America began converting to Protestantism in sizable numbers during the 1700s, they commonly followed traditional West African religions or Islam. Catholicism. Why did they follow Catholicism? Could it be that they came from Spain and Portugal and was forced to convert? Has long had a presence among Black Americans, including in Maryland, Kentucky, and Louisiana during the slave era. Well, we couldn't be anything other than slaves who convert to Catholicism because that's what they made us do. It's in their books. And in the early 1900s, Islam began attracting thousands of Black Americans with the message that Christianity, like America writ large, had failed to offer them equality. Oh, isn't it interesting? The two religions that enslaved us is what we converted to. Catholicism enslaved us, shall we say, dumb diversus. Islam enslaved us, right? So it's no wonder that we're Catholics and we were Muslims. Why? Because they said if you don't convert, you die. But they're Christians and they love you so much. They care so much about you. What follows is a brief account of Black religious history in the United States with an emphasis on efforts by religious groups to deal with racism and its effects, antebellum slavery and religion. When they were first captured and taken to America, some enslaved Black people were Christian. More were Muslims, but they forgot to tell you that many were Jews, but I digress. But the largest number by far were followers of traditional religions common in West Africa at the time, like Judaism or Yahwism. Many of these African belief systems included a supreme distant God who created the world, can we say the Bible, and a pantheon of lower gods and ancestor spirits who were active in daily life. Can we say angels? I'm just saying, come on now. This religious heritage also included the use of herbal medicine and charms applied by specialists known as conjurers, some say diviners, who were believed to be able to heal disease. Ooh, can we say a prophet? Harm an enemy, or make someone fall in love. Historians say access to a conjurer gave enslaved people a sense of empowerment and control over their lives, while allowing for a worldview that distinguished them from slaveholders and connected them to Africa. They don't tell you that the Bible talked about casting lots. When you see them little African people throwing them little beads and those little trinkets and those little rocks, and they call it divination. They don't tell you that they did that in the Old Testament. I'm just saying, they don't tell you about the Ummum and the Thummim, and they were using that to divine or to hear from God. I'm just saying, they didn't lie, they didn't misrepresent it, they didn't say you're devil worshipers, right? Because you Black. Never trust your enemy. See, If you keep trusting your enemy, you're gonna get what you've been getting. You're gonna love eating them lollipops because they love you so much and they want to see you survive so much that they make these lollipops so that you can just enjoy the taste of it because they care so much about your health that they give you these lollipops. Never trust your enemy. So they brought in Christianity, they brought in Catholicism, they brought in Protestantism. Why? Because they then took the religion of what they call Judaism or Yahwism and they converted it into a Europeanized version of the scriptures. That's what happened. Don't get it twisted. They took a Hebrew religion, what they call it, a culture where they worshiped their God and took it and made a book out of it. And guess what? They changed the language to Greek and they Europeanized it and made it their own. Why did they do that, Yacoba? Why would they do such a thing? It's called control. Never trust your enemy. Jim Jones. James Warren Jones, better known as Jim Jones, was an American preacher who led the People's Temple between 1955 and 1978 in what he termed revolutionary suicide, a term he took from the novel by the same name by Huey Newton. Jones and the members of his inner circle planned and orchestrated a mass murder suicide. He's a Christian, or was. In his remote jungle commune of Jonestown, Guyana, on November 18, 1978. Some of y'all are young. I was young. I was alive at the time. Some of y'all don't know about this. Jones and the events that occurred at Jonestown have had a defining influence on society's perception of cults. Never trust your enemy. How are you going to sit under a person and put him over you and let him teach you the word of God and he not an Israelite? Did y'all know that Jim Jones was a CIA agent? A CIA asset at minimum? Did you know that? Never trust your enemy because they got plans to exterminate many people. That's where they come from, drinking the Kool-Aid. How long are you going to drink the Kool-Aid, Israel? Our people are sheep that have gone astray. Yahuwah is your father. He's your shepherd. Yeshua is the good shepherd. Not Jim Jones, not the government, not these folks. Yeshua is your shepherd. Ain't nobody else the shepherd of Israel but Yeshua, period, with the T. Some of y'all attending these people churches and you wonder why you can't figure out the Bible. You wonder why you believe that this war that's happening is the Gog and Magog war. And you wonder why, they say we about to leave and be raptured up because these are the people who are teaching you lies. But they say they love us, Jacoba. Well, how many of us work for their ministries, huh? How many of us getting them big checks like them in their ministries, huh? I just want to know. We started off in the ghettos. We end up in the ghettos. I'm just saying. I thought they supposed to help us. But Jacoba, you're hating. Everybody's an individual. Yes, everybody's an individual, and you deal with them on it as an individual. But you also deal with troops or tribes. There are tribes of people, And in those tribes, they got agendas and goals and things they want for their community. Like Esau. Esau wants your wealth. Esau wants the promised land. Esau wants all the promises that the Most High gave to you, but he don't want them curses. But Esau be breaking them laws every day, but he don't get in trouble because he never signed the agreement. He never signed the covenant. So therefore he don't get judged right away. See, they call it cults, like a cult is an aberration. No. Many churches are cults. Serving God's people in Africa since 1868. The Missionaries of Africa are an international Roman Catholic missionary society of priests and brothers devoted to witnessing to the gospel of Jesus Christ in Africa and among the Africans, wherever they may be. Working with local churches, we offer Christ's message of peace, hope, and reconciliation that ends division, and love that brings an end to hatred. Once these seeds of faith are planted, we move on to other fields where the gospel message has not yet been heard. Let's talk about that for a second, shall we? Do you know why the Catholic Church is in Africa? Because they send a bunch of Negroes from Spain to Sao Tome, from Portugal to Sao Tome, from Portugal to Angola. The Catholic Church did that. The Catholic Church signed the dumb divorces and put us into captivity. The Catholic Church did that. Never trust your enemy. They say that they're here to spread the gospel of Christ. Never trust your enemy. How come every time there's Catholicism, there's poverty? And how come we were forced, as you saw, to convert to Catholicism? Many of us. Never trust your enemy. Ask the Catholic, what is the gospel? Mr. Catholic man, can you please tell me what the gospel is? Mr. Abu, please tell me, Mr. Abu. Mr. Abu, what is the gospel? I'd like to hear it from you, Mr. Abu, please. Mr. Catholic man. Tell me what the gospel is, Mr. Catholic Abu. And watch him give you half of it. Watch him give you half of the gospel message, not the whole. That's how they do. Yea, had God said. So then what we have here, we have our people who are sheep. Like I say, I'm a sheep too. Just that my shepherd is Yeshua. And so some of us are still non-discerning, have no discerning of the spirit. And so therefore we say love everybody because God loves us and there's no more Jew, Greek, slave, free. But God did tell us not to marry them folks. But that don't matter no more. Just like the law done away with. American missionary arrested in Liberia for attempting to murder his wife. Wait, she became his wife. He already had a wife here in the United States. He already had a wife here in the United States, but he went and married this girl because he got her pregnant. Then, when everybody found out that he got this Negro pregnant, he tried to murder her. He tried to delete her. Never trust your enemy. How many times? Lucas Richard is being held without bail or bond in a northwestern African country for allegedly attempting to murder his wife. The Liberian police have announced that they have arrested an American missionary for allegedly trying to murder his wife, who is a citizen of the country. The Daily Observer is reporting that Lucas Richard, a missionary in the area with the Creekside Church, attempted to slit his wife's throat to murder her. The victim, Jessica Lloyd, survived the attack and is currently recuperating in the hospital. Meanwhile, the police are holding him on serious charges. He tried to murk his wife, his African wife. But guess what? When he got her pregnant, she wasn't his wife. When he got her pregnant, he was committing adultery. When he got her pregnant, he had a white wife right over here in the United States. But then he went and married her on a continent. And then he said, oh, she going to have a little Negro baby, but that's going to be my little Negro baby. Let me take care of her. There's a missionary. Never trust your enemy. But I love you. I love you. But he loved me, mama. He says he loves me, mama, but he's a white man. But he says he loves me, mama. I was going to marry her, mama. Never trust your enemy. I don't understand it. I thought he loved me. We had his child together. He talked about how we're going to raise the kid together. So then he drives off into the forest and tries to cut my throat. Never trust your enemy. But he said he loved Christ. He's a missionary, mama. He told me about the gospel, the good news. But he tried to murk me. He tried to delete me. Never trust your enemy. We just came over to Africa to present the gospel. We want you to be saved. But we're not going to pay you no reparations for slavery and for colonization. No, we're not going to do that. You just want to cause division, Yakoba. You're causing division. We're all trying to unite. We're all trying to be one. Never trust your enemy. New police video shows OnlyFans model learning boyfriend died after stabbing. The 4-hour interrogation video shows Courtney Clenny soaked in blood and visibly upset hours after the April 3rd stabbing of boyfriend Christian Obumseli. He was a Nigerian, boys and girls, and he married one of them. But she loved him, and he loved her. Why did she stab him? Well, she came up with the lie to say that he tried to abuse her and beat her. And guess what? I bet you she get off.
Of stabbing her boyfriend to death in their Edgewater high-rise back in April. A video taking place just hours after the deadly incident. NBC's Alyssa Hyman has been listening to that video all day. So, Alyssa, what were you able to find out?
Well, Jawan, this is the first time we are hearing from Courtney Clenny herself tell her version of what happened that day leading up to her boyfriend's death.
We had to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yeah.
This is the moment nearly 3.
He's dead because you stabbed him. I ain't gonna play no more. Deuteronomy 7:3, neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. Y'all keep doing it. Keep doing it. You're gonna get what Courtney Clenny did. You're gonna get what the missionary did. Keep doing it. Keep disobeying the laws and find out why you can't change, why your life is messed up, why nothing ever works out for you, because you keep breaking the laws, whether you knowingly do it or not. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. I'm just saying, I read the word. Who signed the covenant? Who signed the covenant? I want to know, family, who signed the covenant? Did the Gentiles sign the covenant, or did we sign the covenant? And if we sign the covenant, who gonna get punished? What your mom and daddy say when you did something? And you say, well, Johnny did it too. Well, Johnny not my son. Johnny not my child. You my child. You getting punished by me. That's what happened. That's what happened. That's what keep happening. You keep getting punished. Because you be like, daddy ain't tell you, don't marry them folk. I know y'all think I'm racist. Y'all think I'm hating. I know I'm not. I don't fit. I don't fit. I know I'm not fitting into this multicultural thing. Because the Bible says that Israel is unique, set apart, a chosen people, set apart for the work of Yahuwah. Yahuwah says, I didn't know anybody else, no other nation but Israel, period. Period with a T. That's what he said. Tell me if I'm lying. Oh, well, that don't matter no more. That don't matter no more. But there's no difference. That's what they keep telling me. There's no difference. There's no more Jew, no more Gentile, no more Greek. So we can marry them folks. That's what they keep telling me. But I know my father said right here, don't marry them. Well, you're racist, you're cool, but that's all I know. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things God had wrought among the Gentiles by his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified Yahuwah and said unto him, thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe, and they are all zealous for the law of the law. And they are informed of thee that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that they ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. What is it, therefore? The multitude must needs come together, for they will hear that thou art come. Do therefore this, that we say to thee, we have 4 men which have a vow on them. Then them take and purify thyself in them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed concerning thee are nothing, but that thou thyself also walkest orderly and keepest the law. So Paul said, look, I'm keeping the law. Y'all see this, I'm keeping the law. And you know, let's do the rites of purification, so you know they'll see that I keep the law, that I don't teach teaching against the law. Verse 25, as touching the Gentiles which believe. Okay, so here's the Gentiles who believe. We've written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. That's it. Oh, Jacobo, so you're saying that there's laws that the Jews have to keep, that you all have to keep, but we Gentiles don't have to keep? Isn't that what he just said? Is that not what Paul just said? Paul said, look, we're going to keep the rites of purification. They're going to see that we walk orderly and we keep the law. That's what he said, verse 24. Read it for yourself. But you Gentiles ain't got to do everything we do, because y'all ain't signed the contract. See, we got to keep these things because we signed a contract. There's an agreement with our dad, with Abba Yah. But you Gentiles, which believe, we have written and concluded that they observe no such thing, save only what? For the Gentiles, save only that they keep themselves from things offered to idols, and from blood, and from strangled, and from fornication. Period. With a T. Only. But we got to keep that rite of purification. We got to keep that Sabbath day. Not for salvation, because we signed a covenant. Our daddy told us to do it. It's a light unto our path. It's part of our culture and our heritage. The Margaret Sanger Papers Project. Birth control or race control, Sanger and the Negro Project. The Negro Project, instigated in 1939 by Margaret Sanger, was one of the first major undertakings by the new Birth Control Federation of America, the product of a merger between the American Birth Control League and Sanger's Birth Control Clinical Research Bureau, and one of the more controversial campaigns of the birth control movement. Developed by white birth control reformers who consulted with African Americans for help in promoting the project only well after its inception. The Negro Project and associated campaigns were nevertheless widely supported by such Black leaders as Mary McLeod Bethune, W.E.B. Du Bois, and Reverend Adam Clayton Powell Jr. Can we say raccoons? Influenced strongly by both the eugenics movement and the progressive welfare programs of the New Deal era, the Negro Project was, from the start, largely indifferent to the needs of the Black community and constructed in terms with perceptions that today smack of racism. Now, this is from SupremeCourt.gov. This is from SupremeCourt.gov. I just want to help you in your reproductive rights. This is why we fight so hard for birth control and abortions, because we care so much about you Negroes. We love you Negroes. Trying to delete y'all. That's what they're trying to do. We love y'all so much. We care so much about Africa. We care about Africa. We were so worried about y'all during the last 3 years. We gonna make sure we build some factories in Africa so y'all could get y'all lollipops. We gonna build some factories in Africa so you won't have to worry. You gonna have your lollipops developed on the continent, says Bill Gates. Never trust your enemy. What does it take? How many times they gotta keep doing these things to y'all and y'all don't wake up? No more Jew Creek. That was just them. He treats me right. She treats me right. But Father, y'all said don't marry them folk. I've been dating her for 10 years. We getting married. Do what you want to do. I'm trying to help you out. But there's something about Negroes. There's something different about Negroes. Negroes are just very trusting. They know this. They know this. They know this. They know that you're trusting. They know that you're very forgiving. Look what happens when you delete one of our people and we go and hug you in the court and say, we forgive you. We love you. We know you didn't mean it anymore, and let her go and see if she don't do it again. But Negroes are forgiven to a fault. Negroes love everybody. I ain't gonna lie, we do. It boggles the mind that they hate us so much, but I think they hate us because we're so unique. Bushy hair, curly hair. You can make all kind of designs in your head. Lice don't sit and live in your head. We're different. As a matter of fact, you know you Negroes remind me of? Y'all remind me of lions. Y'all got a mane. And you know what? Y'all just as fast as lions too. Y'all can jump and move and y'all strong and y'all when y'all come in the room, people notice. You know how a lion come walking in there with that little strut? They see Negroes coming in with that strut and they be like, who's that? Who are they? Who do they think they is? They do look magnificent though, don't they, Bill? Look at the strut. Look how he walks into the room. Look at that fro. Well, Susie, I have to admit it. They do look magnificent, but I hate them. I hate them too. Why they got to be so strong and so fast? Why do they have to have the voice that can sing, that brings everyone to a roar? Why they got to have that mane on their head? We don't have a mane. Why they dress so good? Why they smell so nice? What's with that swag? I don't know about you, Bobby, but I think I got to talk to them. But Daddy said don't marry them. I didn't say I was going to marry them. I was going to use them for my services. But I thought they weren't supposed to mix with us. I thought they were supposed to marry their own. Well, that's what the word says, but they don't know they're the people. So we could do whatever we want. All we got to do is tell them that we love them, and they're going to believe us. All we got to do is ask them to forgive us, and they're going to do it. We don't have to be sincere. We don't have to give reparations. We don't have to be truthful and show that we really care. We all we have to do is say we're Christians. But if we say we're Christians, don't we have to obey the word? Well, we tell them we are, but we don't have to obey it. Well, how do we do that? Well, you know, like if someone hurts us, we're going to get revenge. But for them, they can't get revenge if we hurt them. They have to forgive us. We will always rule because they don't know who they are. They don't know that they're the ecclesia. They don't know that they're the called out ones. They don't know that they're the assemblies. They don't know that they're the unique people. You only have I known of all the nations, says the Most High. They don't know that. Well, you think you're better than us, Jacoba, don't you? I think we're unique. See, everything got to be better or greater for other people, but we're unique. Now, here's the thing. So some of y'all say, well, I don't believe you, Jacoba. You know, I'm marrying Bobby. I don't believe you, Jacoba. I'm marrying Susan. I'm marrying Betty. I know the word say don't marry them. I'm going to do it anyway. I'm turning you off from unsubscribing. I don't want to hear you no more, Yakoba. I'm just telling the word. What is your interpretation of the word, Yakoba? It's not what God said. Well, let's think about this for a second. There's such a thing as self-preservation. Negroes ain't got no sense. Negroes don't have no idea of self-preservation. Why? Because they marry everybody. They marry everybody but their own. And they then broke up the family. They then got the brothers hating the sisters and got the sisters hating the brothers. And they're not hanging out no more. They're not marrying. The brothers are passport bros. Now they got to go all the way to Brazil. Now they got to go all the way to Africa because now they then broke us up so bad that we want to marry them folks. We don't want to marry each other. They successfully broke us up. Oh, yeah. They successfully separated us. Where's the self-preservation? Self-preservation is a behavior, a set of behaviors that ensures the survival of an organism. It is thought to be universal among all living organisms. For sentient organisms, pain and fear are integral parts of the mechanism. Pain motivates the individual to withdraw from damaging situations, to protect a damaged body part while it heals, and to avoid similar experiences in the future. Most pain resolves promptly once the painful stimulus is removed and the body has healed. But sometimes pain persists despite removal of the stimulus and apparent healing of the body, and sometimes pain arises in the absence of any detectable stimulus, damage, or disease. How many times Israelites, Negroes, Black folks, African Americans, how many times you got to be stabbed? How many times you got to be shot? How many times you got to be critical race theory? How many times they got to change the laws to move you out the government for y'all to start looking inward again, for y'all to start loving one another again, for y'all to say, hey, yeah, we're Israelites. My diamonds is like ice. How many times y'all got to start, y'all not going to start looking at each other to come together as a group? Because guess what? Now you're mingling, right? You didn't diluted us. Y'all separated us. They didn't divide us. The woman don't want the man don't want the woman. Why? Because they didn't successfully brainwashed us. Self-preservation is essentially the process of an organism preventing itself from being harmed or killed, and is considered a basic instinct in most organisms. Self-preservation, Negroes, African Americans, Israelites, where's your self-preservation? Y'all don't identify. I'm an American. I'm not a Negro. I'm an American. I'm not an African. I'm not an Israelite. My diamonds ain't like ice. Y'all don't understand self-preservation. Most call it a survival instinct. Self-preservation is thought to be tied to an organism's reproductive fitness and can be more or less present according to perceived reproduction potential. If perceived reproductive potential is low enough, can we say Margaret Sanger? Self-destructive behavior, i.e. the opposite, is not uncommon in social species. Self-preservation is also thought by some to be the basis of rational, logical thought and behavior. So self-preservation, Negroes, look, here's the bottom line. Why you think they got men dressing in dresses? Why you think there's such a thing as alphabets? It's the continuation of the Negro Project. It's the continuation of the deletion of your people. This is why you marrying everybody. This is why you're marrying Asians. This is why you're marrying them folks. That's why you don't have no identity as Black anymore. That's why there's no barbecues anymore with a bunch of Black folks and other people not being invited. Why? Because everything got to be mixed. Everything got to be multicultural. Why? You can't be unique. You can't be a rose while they be a tulip, right? You got to be a rose tulip. You can't be a rose while they're a tulip. You got to be a rose tulip. You got to include everything and everybody. I know y'all don't like it. Y'all don't like it. I want to get along with everybody too. But guess what? I know that I'm a rose. I know that I'm a lion. I can't be a lion with a hyena. I can't do it. There's such a thing as self-preservation. This is why the Most High told you to stay by yourself, to marry your own. Why? Why do I have to marry my own, Yakoba? You know why I got to marry my own? Because when people are trying to attack the group gonna come and protect the group. When they're attacking the group, see, my wife gonna protect me. You know why? Because my wife is a Negro. My wife is an Israelite. Her diamonds is like ice. I'm a Negro. I'm gonna protect her. Why? We got common interest. We got a common heritage. We got common culture. There's things we want to protect. We know what it's like to grow up without. We know what it's like to be discriminated against. We're going to say Black Lives Matter, not all lives matter. See, I know y'all didn't heard it. Some of y'all that's mixed up with some different groups. Y'all didn't heard all lives matter. But yeah, we the ones shot in the street. That's why Black Lives Matter, because we the ones that getting beat up and shot. Not y'all. Well, they can't sympathize with you because they don't feel the pain you do. Billy can't sympathize with you because he don't feel the pain you do. Betty or Karen can't sympathize with you because she don't feel the same pain as you. She's not discriminated against in loans. She's not discriminated against getting a taxi. She's not discriminated against on a job. She's not shot in the streets. She's not. How can two walk together? At least they agree. How am I going to support you? See, now I got to dilute my Black Lives Matter for all lives. Because I'm dating you, Becky, now I got to dilute my Black consciousness so that we can get along. But America and the world has diluted us. They have diluted us. Why? Because they call us the melting pot. A melting pot is a monocultural metaphor for a heterogeneous society becoming more homogeneous. The different elements melting together with a common culture. An alternative being in a homogeneous society becoming more heterogeneous through the influx of foreign elements with different cultural backgrounds. Possessing the potential to create disharmony within the previous culture, it can also create a harmonious hybridized society known as cultural amalgamation. Historically, it is often used to describe the cultural integration of immigrants to the United States. A related concept has been defined as cultural additivity. Y'all a melting pot. You ain't a lion no more. You're a lion and a lamb. You're a lion and a hyena. See, you ain't a rose no more. You're a rose and a lily. You're mixed. You ain't got no Black heritage and culture. You're an American. What's an American? That means you're nothing. You don't have a tradition of your ancestors and a culture of your ancestors and a heritage handed to your ancestors. When little Leroy grows up in that family, he gonna be saying, "Hey, what's Mama's granddaddy name? His name is Joshua Jones. Joshua Jones was a slaveholder. That's your granddaddy. That's your inheritance. That's your culture. That's what you're going to hand down to your children." Because you're a part of the melting pot designed by the New World Order globalist, designed to separate the Negroes, designed to remove identity and heritage and culture and uniqueness. That's why you got civil rights. You got civil rights because they wanted you to become part of the collective. You got civil rights because they didn't want you having your own banks, your own hotels, your own car dealerships. You got civil rights so that you can join their system and they can control the money and they can control you and they can control everything and keep you from getting anything. That's why you got civil rights. Oh, you thought you got civil rights because they felt sorry for you. Oh, you thought you got civil rights because certain people wanted you to be a part of their community. No, that ain't never happened, obviously. It's because they wanted you to become part of the melting pot, and they can control the banks, and they can control the hotels, and they can control the car dealerships. Why? Because Negroes ain't gonna unite. Why? Because Negroes don't know how to unite, and Negroes ain't got no money because now they control the money, and so we don't circulate the money. So now, guess what? Welcome to the multiculturalism of poverty for you all. This is what's been happening. Diluting of Negroes, diluting of Israelites. You want to know how things are supposed to be? This is how it's supposed to be. Let me show you how it's supposed to be. Now, I'm not going to play the volume because I don't want to get hit for nothing. But this is how it's supposed to be. So this is the lions against the hyenas. Now, what if the lions married the hyenas? How would that be? The lions fight the hyenas, and the lions come together to fight the hyenas, and the hyenas come together to fight the lions. But the lions don't become a lion hyena. See, this is self-preservation. Lions help lions. Hyenas help hyenas. Now, what if the hyenas decided to come amongst the lions and pretend to be a lion? The hyena gonna say, you know what? I've been living with these lions for a while. And I found out that these lions, they go off and they hunt every time at noon. And if we could go follow them, you know, as soon as they make the kill, we can jump the lions and take their prey. I'm going to tell y'all everything the lion's doing. But will they tell you everything? Will the lions really tell you everything that's going on? Yeah, because I done married the lion. And the lion loves me. So I have an alliance to the hyenas. They don't know that. But aren't you married into the house of the lions? Doesn't that mean you have a loyalty to the lions? No, they think I have a loyalty to the lions, but I don't, because I'm a hyena. How could I ever have a loyalty to lions when I'm a hyena? But you married a lion. Yeah, I married a lion, but I'm not a lion. See, that's the difference. That's the difference. You didn't marry a Negro, but you're not a Negro. You don't have the same life a Negro have. You don't have the same wants and desires a Negro have. And both of y'all got to compromise. And the hyena going to do hyena things, and the lion going to do lion things, and y'all ain't going to never really fit. See, this the lie they done told you. That you don't have to be a lion no more. It don't matter that you're a lion. You're an animal. Just join all us animals in the melting pot. But what about my lion people? The hyenas keep trying to kill them. The hyenas keep attacking them and taking their property and their food and their resources. The hyenas keep shooting them in the streets and stabbing them in the back and passing CRT laws. The hyena keeps attacking them, even when they say they love them. They stab them and try to slit their throats. See, lions got to protect lions because hyenas going to protect hyenas. So the deception comes in many forms. Why? Because they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They look nice on the outside, but inside they are ravening wolves. They look nice. I want to help you. I love you. I want to bring food to you. I'm not going to mention names. Read it for yourself. I'm going to come to the continent. I'm going to come to Africa. I want to help you. I'm going to bring food and peacekeepers. And we're going to be part of the international community. And the lions is going to join the other animals to rule the world. But no one has any interest to make sure that the lions get to eat. They all making sure that the hyenas get to eat and the elephants get to eat and the zebras get to eat. Everybody but the lions. All of the animals came together. But when the lions say, look, we want to eat too. We want part of the resources. We want part of the economy. They be like, nah. Say, you know what? They keep attacking us every time we try to hunt our game. Them hyenas still keep attacking us, but they keep telling us it's all equality and peace and love. But y'all don't do nothing about them hyenas, but every time we try to fight back, y'all do something about us. Only lions care about lions. I don't care if you're married to a hyena. Only lions care about lions and where the lion's going to eat and where the lion's going to have shelter. Let's not get it twisted. Where are my laws to protect me? Y'all pass laws for the Asians. How come you ain't pass no laws for the Negro? Because only lions care about lions. Y'all keep putting yourself under the community of animals and you ain't going to get nothing because nobody cares about the lion but the lions. But I'm married to a hyena. Doesn't a hyena care about me? No, because the hyena is a hyena. The hyena might give you a little piece of their meat. They might give you some scraps because they love you, supposedly. But only lions cares about lions. Only Negroes care about Negroes. Only Negroes care about Negroes' situations. Only Negroes care whether Negroes eat. See, y'all don't get it. There was a Psalm 83 conspiracy. They were all against us, and they are all against us to this day. That's what the scripture says, and that's what I see. And then you got the raccoons who want you to act like they're not stealing your meat when you're going hunting. You got the raccoons that say they're not trying to steal your meat. You're deceived. You're a skin doctrine man. But I see it every time we go out. They try to steal our meat. We go hunting as a pack of lions, and there's the hyenas again, stealing our meat, stealing our resources, stealing our food, burning down our buildings, killing our kids. But only lions care about lions. You gonna join the United Nations when there was a Psalm 83 conspiracy? That means all of them that's part of the Psalm 83 hate you. all of those nations that are part of the Psalm 83 conspiracy hate you. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. You see it every day. Oxfam, Amnesty International, International Rescue, Doctors Without Borders, Save the Children, Toast Stand, ActionAid, World Vision, Enough Project. They love you so much that they're trying to help y'all. Here, eat this lollipop. They love y'all. Trust them, Doctors Without Borders. They love y'all. They just want to make sure you have your lollipops. That's all. They're not associated. Don't believe they're associated with Margaret Sanger. God forbid. They're not associated with Margaret Sanger. International Monetary Fund. We just want to loan y'all some money so y'all can build your countries. Well, how come you folks own the IMF, but we folks don't? How come you folks get to lend us money, but we don't get to lend you money? How come it's the animals that's lending money, but the lions aren't none of the ones lending money? How come every time we try to start our businesses and our banks and our international funds, we can't do it? Because ain't nobody care about you but you. Y'all need to wake up. Ain't nobody care about what Negroes want but Negroes, period, with the T. I probably should have called this period with the T. See, y'all don't get it. Y'all keep hating on me, and you look like me, and you from the same heritage I am, and you are Israelite. You got the same culture. Guess what? Them folks you fighting for don't care about you and your kids. They're not worried about whether or not you leave an inheritance to your kids. They don't care whether or not you're going to be a banker or whether or not you're going to be the owner of a major corporation. Them folks taking care of their folks, but they ain't taking care of you folks. Am I lying? Give me a 1 if I'm not lying. Give me a 2 if I'm lying. And they put traps everywhere, like the PPP loans. You did that PPP, you might be in trouble, you see. There's always a catch. Ain't nothing for no Negroes. Well, who can we trust? You trust Yah, you trust Father Yah, you trust Yeshua and his word, and you obey his commands. That's the only way to get out this thing. And you love one another. You are my brother, you are my sister, you are the 12 tribes, you are an Israelite, and you are supposed to look out for one another. You are supposed to provide for one another. You're supposed to do business with one another. You're supposed to marry one another. Why? Because they don't like you. And the word says don't do it. Even when they say they like you, they shoot you. They try to slit your throat. Don't act like it's an aberration. It happens too much to be an aberration. Well, it don't happen to everybody. Well, some people got lucky. Well, how do we tell? What do we do? Matthew 7:15-20. Beware of false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravenous wolves. You will know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Even so, every good tree bears good fruit, but a bad tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a bad tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit is cut down and thrown into the fire. Therefore, by their fruits you will know them. Did they give you reparations? Do they want to give you reparations? Are they all lives matter or Black Lives Matter? Do they want to see you return back to the continent or they want you to stay here? Do they want you to be the head of a major corporation or a bank, or do they want you to stay in the status that you have been? Do they pass any laws to help the Black community or not? Do they pass laws for critical race theory or laws to promote our history? Do they rail against wokeism, whatever that is? Or do they say, you know what, the Black folks are woke, they are the children of Yah, you know what, I'm going to attach myself to them? You're going to know them by their fruit. See, I could say I love you all day, but why call me Lord, Lord, do not what I say? That's what Yeshua said. Well, let's put it this way. If you love me, how come you don't do nothing for me? Like the women tell her husband, you say you love me. How come we don't go out and eat? How come you don't bring me to a nice restaurant? How come you don't buy me no jewelry? How come we don't go out to the movies no more? How come we don't do this and that? How come you don't at least tell me you love me and cook a meal for me? How come sometimes you don't clean the house for me sometimes, right? How come sometimes you don't do something to show me that you care? But I tell you, I love you all the time, but you don't show me. If they don't show you, guess what? They got to show you sometimes. I'm not saying men gonna do it all the time. We ain't cleaning the house all the time and we ain't cooking all the time and all that stuff. That ain't gonna happen. We're gonna do it sometimes. But sometimes, if I do it, I'm gonna show you some love. I'm gonna buy you something every now and then. Besides just telling you I love you. I'm gonna be home on time and spend quality time with you. I ain't gonna be working just all the time and don't want to be around you. You're gonna know them by their fruit. See, a lot of people gonna tell you they love you all day. And I know y'all Israel, and I love me some Israel. But guess what? They ain't never did nothing for no Israel. They ain't never gave nobody no money. They ain't never promoted no reparations. They ain't do nothing to try to restore, what we lost. They ain't do nothing for you. Until you show me, I ain't gonna believe you. The Bible says we will go into captivity in the land of our enemies. I didn't say it. The word says it. We will go into captivity in the land of our enemies. But y'all say they're not our enemies. You're a racist, Jacoba. They're not our enemies, but didn't we go into the captivity? Yeah, we went into captivity. But wouldn't you say that's in the land of our enemies? Yeah, well, yeah, at the time they were our enemies. Well, do they let you own some banks? Well, there's some blacks who own banks, but yeah, who's behind them? There's always somebody else besides just a Negro. Do you own major Fortune 500 companies? How many billionaires do we have that's not Freemasons? How many Negroes that own major corporations and institutions and stuff and lending money to nations and corporations around the globe? How no, they don't let us do that. Do they still redline you? Or we still fight. We still have to be voted on the vote, right? They still gotta every 10 years come back around and say you Negroes have the right to vote. I'm just saying. How come we still got to fight for the right to vote if they love us so much? Somebody tell me that. Y'all gonna hate on me because I'm telling you the truth. But how come every 10 years they got to vote whether or not we get the right to vote? Somebody make it make sense. But we all equal. We all equal. That's what they keep telling me. Ain't nobody care about the lions but the lions. You see it every day. If you become successful, it's because another lion helped you become successful. If you become rich, it's because another lion helped you become rich. Them folks ain't helping you become rich. Oh, well, you know what? We never attended your business. Well, why you don't come to my business? Because I thought it was a black business. Well, does that mean you can't come to it because it's owned by a black person? Well, I thought it was a black person, so only black folks go to that business. So we don't go to your business because it was a black business. Isn't that racism? If you become successful, 9 times out of 10 is because another lion helped you become successful. Don't get it twisted. Lions help lions. Hyenas ain't gonna help no lion. Don't get it twisted. I don't care how much they say they love you, how much they care, how much money they leave you. Kobe Bryant didn't left her some money, but he sure probably ain't leave too much of that money to the Negroes. I'm just saying. I ain't hating. Y'all just don't keep the money in the family. Y'all wonder why Negroes can't make it. Why? Because you keep giving it away to them folk. But I love Becky. But Becky ain't going to help Negroes because Becky ain't no Negro. Becky going to put that money in the hyena community. Y'all know it's true. Lions help lions. Don't get it twisted. Just like the missionary who went to Africa to go help spread the gospel, and he tried to cut her throat. Lions help lions. Hyenas gonna cut your throat. Look at the facts. Look at the history. How many times they got to keep doing this stuff for y'all to be like, well, you know what? I think you're Kobe right. I think you're Kobe right. I'm not listening to no hyena. There's a hyena who be hanging around here. His name is Abu. Abu be creeping around. He be like, I want to help y'all. I want you to understand that your cobra is wrong. Your cobra is wrong. His morphology is wrong. His phenotype is wrong. His DNA is wrong. Don't listen. But you a hyena, Abu. Only lions gonna help lions. I'm not listening to no hyena. And I'm not listening to the raccoons either. Because all the raccoons want to do is work together with the hyenas. Last verse. Revelation 12:9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth what? The whole world. Part of the world, the whole world. Some of the world, the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Understand this. The hyenas, as a group, as a pack, kill, steal, and destroy. Let's not get it twisted. Hyenas kill, they steal, and they destroy. They went to the Americas, took the islands, killed the Indians. Hyenas are bad. They're rough. They got an age of discovery. Hyenas went to Vietnam. Hyenas went to China. Hyenas went to Korea. Hyenas went to Australia. Hyenas went to Africa. Hyenas then been all over the globe. Killing, stealing, and destroying. Hyenas be signing treaties. They say, let's get along, let's have peace. But hyenas only adhere to the peace long enough to get stronger. Then they coming back to kill, steal, and to destroy. That's all you ever see. But guess what? Hyenas say, we're for democracy. We're spreading democracy around the world so it can be fair. Not to tell you that hyenas spread democracy so that they can control you. Why? Because the person with the money can control the individual voters. The person with the money can control the information that you get. So democracy is an illusion of choice. It is a control mechanism. Just as the United Nations is a control mechanism. Everything that's happening for 2030 is a control mechanism. They don't care about lions. But they've all are Confederate. Lions are by themselves. The tigers, the bears, the hyenas are Confederate against the lion. You believe the word or you don't. But you can see it in their actions. You can see it in the history. You can see what happened during our enslavement. You can see what happened, how they all conspired together against the Negro. All of the other animals conspired against the lion. But they get angry when the lion say, you know what? I think we should forget them other animals. And you know what? I think we should marry lionesses. Lionesses. You know, lions shouldn't be marrying bears and tigers and hyenas. Why? Because lions only care about lions. Lions care whether or not lions eat. Lions care about whether or not lions have shelter. Tigers and bears and hyenas don't. They don't care about the lion, whether he eat, so long as everybody else eat. And you know what else? Because they're Confederate, when you go slay a bull or a wildebeest, they all come together in packs and take it from you because you ain't got enough. Did y'all see how many hyenas there were in that video in comparison to the hyenas? I mean, in comparison to the lions? Did y'all see how many hyenas in comparison to the lions? That's how it is. Tell me I'm lying. We're outnumbered. And the little food that you get to eat, they steal it from you. Tell me I'm lying. Ain't nobody care about the lions but the lions. Period. Look at the history. Look at the laws. Look at how the world system moves. Africa be begging to be part of the world community. And they be like, go sit back down, boy. Everybody else have a say-so on the international scene. Africa barely has a word. They finally let the AU become a part of the G20. Why? Because Russia getting a foothold too much in Africa. Russia's starting to help push out the French. They started getting scared. So India said, you know what, let's let some of these African Union people in here with the G20. Y'all done left us out of here for like 50 plus years, right? Y'all done let everybody else in, the ones who Confederate, but y'all ain't let the lions in. Oh, yeah, it's possible I might get blocked. Let's put it this way. Here's the problem. I see what they got planned. They've been trying to do like Pharaoh for over 2,000 years. But the Most High said, he shall live and not die. See, I'm not asleep anymore. I see what them people say and what they do. I see the fruit in comparison to the words. Mama ain't raised no fools. They on code, but we're not. Our families are broken. Black women, Negro women, Israelite women don't like Negro, Israelite men. And now half of them are alphabets. But there's no conspiracy. I know I'm not liked. I know I'm hated. And I know I'm a danger because I'm speaking truth. But here's the thing. If we don't walk in unison, according to the word of the Most High, loving one another and taking care of one another, we done. If we don't recognize that we are the seed that the Lord had blessed, we done. If we don't recognize that we supposed to look out for family first, to the Jew first, we done. All of these wars, who you think this for? You think this is because they just want to control? No. It's about you. Who you think population control is for and has always been for? Us. I ain't no fool. Why you think they don't care when we get shot in the street, but they care whether or not we eat lollipops? Why you think they don't care when we get shot in the streets, but they care about whether or not we eat lollipops? Come on, somebody make it make sense. Our lives are at stake. And your mores ain't telling you this. Your pastors ain't telling you this. Ain't nobody telling you this but Teo Ministries. Why? Because Teo Ministries understand only the Most High gonna get us out of this situation. But we play a part in it. Obedience to the Father first. We are his children. And obedience and love for the Father, then for one another, because we are a family. And they don't identify as your family. Why? Because they weren't born of the bloodline. If you're born in the Smith family, then you're a Smith. And if the Smiths are black, then you're black, and the Smiths are black. Until the Smiths start letting other people in, and then they start getting diluted, and you don't know who's who, and then they end up joining the predominant nation. See, we don't understand. We've been brainwashed very well. We were put under a spell. Oh, yeah. I didn't wake up till a few years ago. I was in the matrix like the rest of y'all. We're Americans. We all have the same opportunities. All we got to do is work hard. And we'll be a part of the American dream. while they redlining you, not giving you loans, taxing the heck out of you. And don't forget about deleting you. But we all the same. That's what they tell us. I'm not a fool. You can't tell me we're the same, and I see the discrimination each and every day. You can't tell me we're the same, and you shooting us in the street. You can't tell me the same. I can't go and get a loan and become a multi-billionaire and a multi-owner of a corporation. You can't tell me we're the same, and the laws that you use to protect other groups, you don't pass to protect me. We're not the same. I'm sorry. I'm not stupid, and I know my life is at stake. Our lives are at stake. We are at war. And as the Messiah said, by way of deception, thou shalt do war. See, they're not pulling guns on everybody. They're not dropping bombs on everybody. They are deceiving you. They're telling you you don't matter anymore. It don't matter if you're Israel. It don't matter anymore because there's no more Jew, Greek. It don't matter what the Most High said, that he signed a covenant, and in that covenant, he promised blessings. It's okay for you Israelites to have the curses, but it's not okay for you to only get the blessings. See, we don't care if you got the curses. We don't want you to have the blessings. Why? Because Satan then deceived the whole world, and all of y'all are deceived. 9 out of 10 are deceived, and we all are waking up out of slumber and realizing that these people then pulled the okie doke on us. We then woke up and found out they got traps laid here, traps laid there, lollipops here, lollipops there, stopping you from being part of the economic system, got you locked down. So if you wanted to go back to Africa, you can't. Why? Because they done built this international global system of control that control where you go and who you are and how you spend your money and what you do. We in trouble. See, most of y'all don't know how much trouble we in. And now they're ready to do the WW3. And in the WW3 chaos, what a great opportunity to delete a bunch of Negroes. Don't get it twisted. During WW3, what a great opportunity to round up a bunch of Negroes. Delete a bunch of Negroes. Delete a bunch of lines. I know y'all think I'm exaggerating. That's okay. But if somebody don't tell the truth, we're going to be stuck where we are. We ain't going to never get out. If we don't realize that we got to rely on one another, support one another, help one another, love one another at the exclusion of the rest. What do you mean by that, Yakoba? To the Jew first. That's what I mean. I'm going to help my brother who's an Israelite before I help you. I'm going to help my sister who's an Israelite before I help you. I'm going to give my money to an Israelite before I give it to you. I'm just saying. Y'all make it like it's some weird thing. Y'all know, Minister tell you, my brother. Am I not going to do business with my brother before I do business with anybody else? Right? Am I not going to support Minister tell you before I support anybody else? Doesn't that make sense? Same thing with the Israelite family. I'm going to do business with my family first, but y'all make it like it's racism. No, you're not going to gaslight me. You're not going to mess with my mind and tell me that I'm racist because I want to do business with my family first. The Most High said to the Jew first. Why? Because we family. So y'all don't get upset when the Most High say, look, I'm not going to give the children bread to the dogs. Uh-oh. So y'all don't say nothing then. There was an exclusivity between the chosen people and the rest of the world. Why? Because Israel has a special mission. Israel is to testify about what Yah says and that his word is true and that everything he says comes to pass. Israel sinned, so Israel went into captivity. Israel repented, and so Israel will be restored back to the land with the wealth that they were promised. See, people won't act like there's no special chosen people. Yes, there is. There's a special chosen people because they have a role to play. They have a testimony to give. Then the world will know that Israel went into captivity for their sins. That's Bible. But y'all want to act like there ain't no more chosen people. I know. Y'all only want the blessings, but you don't want the curses. How is it to grow up in a world where you thought everything was fair and everyone had equal opportunity, to realize that the whole world hates you and that the whole world tries to delete you and the whole world conspired together to keep you from your land and your property and your resources and your inheritance? And you wake up and you find out that it is all true. The Bible said it, and it's all true. And nobody likes us. How many of you all? Give me a one. Give me a one if when you weren't awake, you were still sleeping, but you said, how come everybody hate the black man? Give me a one if you asked yourself that. Give me a two if you never asked yourself that. How many of you, when you was asleep, say, how come everybody hate the black man? Everywhere we go, they hate us. How many times you asked that? You had no idea, but you knew they hated you. You knew that everybody hate you. So now, because I'm an Israelite, and I say, you know what? They do hate us. And the scripture says they hate us. So who gonna love us but us? Who gonna love us but us? Come on now. I love my people. I'm gonna fight for my people, and I'm gonna put my people first. And I don't care what nobody say, and I don't care if you gaslight me, and I don't care if you put videos up about me. Somebody got to tell the truth. Somebody got to stand in the gap. We can't go on like this. We can't act like everything is fine when people plotting against us. We can't act like it's fine when they're creating Negro projects. We can't act like it's fine when they sticking us with syphilis. We're supposed to ignore all this stuff and act like it never happened. And like everybody loves us and everything is copacetic, but it's not. I think I saw it too. You must be young. If you ain't ever asked why everybody hates us, you must be a millennial. I'm gonna tell you that now. You must be a millennial if you ain't ever asked why everybody hates us. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Because the millennials are about the only ones who still sleep. Maybe Gen Z too. Y'all still might be asleep. I tell you, Generation X, we know all too well. We ask them questions. But I'm going to tell you this. We have to change. We have to be family focused. And we have to do right by one another. And if I do business with you, you best give me the best service out of anybody. And if I buy something from you, it better be the best quality stuff. And if I give to you, it best be very good giving, because y'all didn't give to them people. Y'all done made them people super rich. If y'all gonna support our businesses, support it. Give them good reviews. Patronize their stores. Patronize their online businesses, because guess what? Then you won't have trouble giving to people who trying to connect the continent. Then we'll be able to form the relationships on the continent. We ain't gonna need nobody else. We shouldn't need anybody else. The only problem we have right now is that they keep us separated because we don't identify as a group. Nobody can make it by themselves. You'll never make it by yourself. You'll never become successful without somebody else helping you, period. I'm not even saying that the Gentiles, they may not be a Gentile that'll help you. I'm just saying that as a group, it's not their motive, it's not their desire to help you. But it should be your desire to help us. And you shouldn't get upset when one of ours becomes successful. And when you become successful, you shouldn't turn your back on the community and say, oh, I've arrived, while the rest of your family's still in poverty. You should be strategically positioning yourself and your family, although on the DL, on the download, strategically positioning yourself to help your people from the shadows. Because if you do it in the limelight, they're going to tear you down. You got to move with wisdom. You got to be wise as a serpent, but gentle as a dove. You got to be as smart as they are, but harmless. You got to build together, but quietly. Because if they see it, don't get it twisted. They're going to burn your cities and towns down again. They're going to burn your corporations down again. They will put you in prison for anything. Move in the shadows. Work together, but don't get no publicity. You got to understand, and I've seen this. Many of our people who have been politicians, governors, mayors, who are part of the establishment, have some influence and some power. The three-letter agencies are coming for you all the time. They're watching you. You make a slip up, you make a mistake, and even if you don't, you might get set up. That's how bad it is. Don't act like it don't happen. It does. I know. I see it all the time. I saw someone in Texas one time. I forgot what his position was. Set him up. Dot your I's, cross your T's. This is not our home. We are in the land of our captivity. Peace and blessings, Israel. Your captivity is ending. Love you with the love of the Messiah. If you like this ministry and what we do, please support it by becoming a patron. You can also give Cash App, $ TOTW 7101. And also make sure to go over to giftgivingforall.com if you want to get our mugs and our shirts and our hoodies. And also, if you like this video, please give it a like and also share it.